Hi, Slotcar friends. Today H&B is going to show you the whole range of our test benches because we developed some in the last 5 months. It started all with the normally analog test bench. Then we made because we drive Oxygen Digital, the test bench with the Oxygen Digital SCP controller on it. Then later on, we went from this one with the SCP controller to get a phone from a dealer in RC control cars. They drive Kiosia. And Kiosia is, we call it Mini Z over here, in the whole world, it's Mini Z cars. And they are on a scale from 1/28. So we built one especially for the RC cars Mini Z. And the last one we built the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we built one with a controller, XLR plug, or because in other countries they drive the most, in Germany they drive with a banana plug. Go to the beginning of all of it. This is the analog test bench, and it gives you the rounds RPM, meter per second, the voltage of the power, and the kilometers per hour. And if necessary, you are a foreigner from England or from America, we do that in feet also. It gets its power from a 12-volt regulator, and so you can adjust it until 7 volts and 12 volts. You can power it to 1 volt, but then you don't have a reading anymore because the computer that's in it needs 7 volts to register. But at 1 volt you can exactly see if your tires are round enough, and you can see the behavior of the car. If it's bouncing, your tires are not okay. So you put them back to about 12 volts, and there's the reading again. So this is how the analog version works. Second range in the H&B test benches is the test bench with a controller of SCP for the oxygen system. Normally your SCP is hooked up at the track because it gets a power then over there. But when you want to try the test bench to measure up your oxygen cars, it's simple to hook up it with those two plugs. It only gets power, nothing more, nothing less. The controller is radio controlled. An oxygen car would not drive when you get power on the lanes. It needs his commands from the SCP. So that's why we built the H&B test bench with an extra addition for the SCP controller. Then the phone call from somebody who drove a Mini Z. And this is the scale. It's not a Mini Z because it's a slot car. I don't have Mini Zs. But this is the scale from it. And you don't need the extra power for the bench because all the Mini Zs has their own power. They are with batteries. So you cannot hook up the 12-volt power. We hooked it up with 3 batteries from 1.5 volt. And it doesn't need power on the brakes because you get your controller from Mini Z, you put on your car, and it also registers. Then we have here the last one. There are people saying, and it was a request also from a slot car store, there are people, when you have 12 volt on the track, they make a controller that gives you more power on the track than the 12 volt. I don't know how they do it, but it has to be something with MOSFET. They can do it. So they want to check it. You put them on, and now you can drive with your normally analog controller. And as you can see on this one, the voltage input is 11.9 volt. And the output of the controller is 11.8. So now you know you're not getting more power to the car than it's on the track. And it's the same rounds per minute, kilometers per hour, and it changed from, because we don't have more space on the display, it changed in between kilometers per hour and miles per second. You take the XLR plug out, and if you want to, you have another controller, you can also use the banana plugs. So, that's the whole range of this moment of the H&B test benches. Oh yeah, I have to explain something else. Here's the Carrera car. If you flip this button and you put them 3 times on the bench, then it behaves like an analog car, so you can also measure up your digital Carrera cars, what for the speed, etc., etc. So that's the whole range. Thank you, folks.